RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
What the hell is going on? Hi guys, this is Tara Devlin, and yeah, I see you, haiku. Another day in the United States of serfs and lords. Yeah, that's how I start the day. That's where we live. It's really kind of exhausting, right? All right, my name is Tara Devlin. This is unapologetic liberal talk on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy. And that means, it's for normal people, a.k.a. liberals, patriots, progressives, same thing. I repeat myself. So let's see. This is the show that is recorded for Progressive Voices. So if you are on Progressive Voices, you can become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin to keep the show going and growing. But you can also listen to the entire show at youtube.com/C4Channel/Tarabuster or on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher. If you want to hang out in the best chat room in all of liberal media, come on over to that, like I said, youtube.com/C4Channel/Tarabuster. And I want to give a couple of shout outs because we have some patrons and I missed them the last show. So I really want to say I'm kind of afraid to hit the sound effects though, so because I might stop. I'm afraid. Maybe, you know what? Let's try it. If the music stops, I will restart the show. It's early enough. So let me see if I can do it without effing up my music cues. Because I want to do the drum roll and all that. You know what I mean? You deserve it. If you're a patron, you went to the trouble of going over to YouTube. I mean, I can't even talk. To patreon.com/Tara Devlin and supporting this show. Too bad I can't find the damn. I can find a lot of other sound effects like this. Is it still? Let me see. Oh, look at that. It stopped. What the fuck is going on? That is not supposed to stop. I'm going to have to restart the show. You realize this now. This is bullshit. Like, let me see. Let me play this. I've done tests too, you know. Hold on. That's supposed to just play and not interfere with other things that are playing. All right, I have to start the show over. Forget it. Forget it, guys. I'm not going to do anyway, should I do the drum roll now and then start the show? Yeah, why not? Right? Even though I can't find a drum roll. Everything sucks. Where the fuck is my drum roll? All right. We're going to have to just go with the sound effects we have. Like this. It's not as exciting. Let me say drum roll. I know I have this. Why do things change? Is somebody out to get me? Is there a Republican hiding in my apartment that I don't know about? You know, why would my drum roll be gone from my list of sound effects? That's insane. All right, I found it. Here we go. Let me try it this way. If I do this. All right, that's the beginning of the show. Let's just do that. Sorry, I know it's annoying. Let's just pretend. This is the rehearsal. We're going to start the show. It's actually, you're getting more show when this happens. That's what am I kidding around when I say this is our show and you are the producers? Exactly. Do it live. Do it live. Well, Thomas Reynolds is going to, he's going to join in a few, I think in about half an hour, after I settle all this bullshit. Okay, so let me see. The drum roll is working. But it doesn't work. Something is very rotten in Farrago. What the fuck? All right, that should do that. All right, fuck it. I have to do this, I guess, again. I don't know. I was going to say do it on my own time, which I have done. But it doesn't seem to work.
Strike and strike and strike and strike
and strike and strike and strike. That's what I have to do until I have victory.
Let there be.
Maybe there's a setting or something, but I just want to say, let's just do it, and then I'll restart the show. But I want to say, guys, thank you for your patronage. First of all, I see you, Haiku. I see you edited your patronage, and I want to say thank you so much. And for everything else, for being the moderator. That's not easy. It's not easy dealing with trolls. And I really appreciate it. But I see Kathleen Loves Nature is back, who she's very happy. Welcome, Kathleen Loves Nature. I love nature too. Thank you so much, Kathleen Loves Nature. And I also want to thank APS Radio News. I don't know who that is. I don't know your name. But thank you so much for your very generous patronage. So this show tonight is sponsored by Haiku and Kathleen Loves Nature and APS Radio News. Thunderous applause.
Some people are just born to be slaves.
Oh, he's dead, isn't he? Born to be?
Some people are just born to be slaves.
Can you believe that son of a bitch actually said that? Well, it gets worse. All right, let's start the show over, and then, I won't be touching Farrago. All right, hold on. I'll be right back with, whatever. We do it live. And then, where's my producer? Oh, he's sleeping. Shh. The producer is sleeping on the chair. All right. Everybody, I gotta be quiet. I'll be right back.
RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
All right, guys, this is Tara Devlin. Thanks so much for hanging out. Unapologetic liberal talk on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, and humanity. And damn it, we need that. You know where we live. It's getting ridiculous out there. And it would be comical if they weren't so dangerous and getting away with their schemes. How is this possible? I don't understand how Trump and the Republicans, they could just commit crimes right out in the open and nothing happens. Like, you could plot to kidnap the governor, and you can walk away scot-free to do it again. All right. That's why we need the independent liberal media, and really, otherwise we're doomed. We don't have a liberal media. I'm sorry to say, this is it. I hear you. I know. We got a lot of work to do, but I can't do the show without you, so thank you so much. If you can become a patron, please do at patreon.com/Tara Devlin, and you will keep the show going and growing, and maybe one day we'll have a daily show at a set time before I step off the mortal coil. Not that I want to go we all have to go sometime, but hopefully not later rather than sooner. And I would like to see the country live up to its promises. We were promised a lot of things when we were little, when I was being taught about what this goddamn country is. We were taught about democracy, right? I was. We were taught about freedom. We were taught about, greatest country that God ever created. Come on. We got a lot of work to do, especially because the country is populated by, there's a lot of damn fascists running around, and I'm glad that some Democrats seem to be waking up. Hopefully it's not too late, but just want to say again, thank you, Haiku, Kathleen Loves Nature. Oh, right, Mark Uncle Smokey. I missed Mark Uncle Smokey in there, excuse me. And APS Radio News, guys, thank you so much for keeping the show going and growing. And I'll just dive in. We're on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher. Give the show a good review. That helps the show go up in the rate, not in the rate, the algorithm. And share the show with your friends. That will help too. I do see more people watching the show and listening to the show. Not everybody watches live, but if you feel like hanging out, we're here every Friday evening from around this time. I would say 8 p.m. Eastern. I shoot for 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I can't always make it, as we saw tonight. So it'll be in the 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time vicinity. So thank you. And that's why you should hit the notification bell, subscribe, notification, and then you can hang out in the chat room with the greatest chat room in all of liberal media. And I'm not just saying that. Don't take my word for it. Experience it for yourself. Wait, I have to pull my chair in. I'm sitting down tonight because I'm tired. Look at me. I'm exhausted. I'm like, I gotta dye my hair. A lot of things have to happen. Breathe. And Thomas Reynolds is going to join us in a little bit, so that'll be good. Because we always have a good time when Thomas calls. He's the founder and chief cook and bottle washer over at the FYINation.com. And his show's on every morning at 9 a.m. The Nosey Liberal. Now that's this is how we will win. We will not win without the message. And let's just dive in. I know I've been saying that and not really diving in, just messing up. But okay, so today I was watching Ketanji Brown Jackson. Thank God she's been confirmed. I mean, don't you feel? I feel pride that. It's possible. Sort of like when Barack Obama was elected, even though, of course, he's probably the best Republican president we've had in a while, since Eisenhower, probably. But it was pretty surprising that Barack Obama, I never thought I would see somebody with darker pigment get elected. And it does matter. I talk a lot about well, we talk about people with darker pigment on this show because, frankly, as we know, race is a construct, but we're living in a racist ass society. So if you can't see race, then you can't see racism, and this is what Republicans want to do. So that's why they don't want any discussion about race or under the guise of kids, little fragile snowflakes, not feeling bad. Give me a break. Feeling bad is part of becoming an adult. God damn it. You know what I mean? But this is why they're dangerous. And they hate democracy. They hate America. They hate democracy. Don't ever forget it. They're not kidding around. Mitt Romney and Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski don't make up for 99.9% of a fascist death cult who hates America. And I'm not sure. Maybe you saw Mitch McConnell was being interviewed by I can't remember the guy's name. It's escaping me, from the guy from Axios, and he confirmed yet again that, he said, would you, if another Supreme Court nomination came up and the Republicans were in the majority in the Senate, would you put them up for a vote? And he wouldn't answer the question because he wouldn't. And that's why he is the grave digger of American democracy. World War II historians call Mitch McConnell the grave digger of American democracy. And with good reason. The Third Reich had Hindenburg to enable Hitler in his rise to power, and to fuss around with the lines, to cross those lines, and to manipulate the democracy or the laws, everything under the guise of legitimacy. This is what they do. Just like they're attacking trans kids, gay kids, or just human beings in general under the guise of children. I hate them. All right. I just hate them. I hate them. Watching the Republicans. Well, I'm sure you saw. Let me see if I have the video. When Ketanji Brown Jackson was confirmed, every American should, if you're a normal person who loves this country, you should feel a sense of pride and the weight of the historical moment, the beauty of it. I actually, I'm a crier, but when Ketanji Brown Jackson spoke today, and she said, and she quoted Maya Angelou, "I am the hope and dream of the slave." Look, I'm tearing up. It really touched me. We should, because it's progress, and it matters that she's on the court, and not only is she the symbolism of the diversity, of a court that sits and lords over us, and that court not looking like America, just like the House of Representatives now. That the House used to be, it's known as the People's House, right? It's the body closest to the people. The Senate is more like the House of Lords, right? But the House of Representatives is now populated with millionaires, majority millionaires, and that says everything. It's supposed to look like the American people, but it looks like, an autocracy in the making. All right, my name is Tara Devlin. So this is a disgrace, right? As Ketanji Brown Jackson is confirmed, look at these Republicans. And Ted Cruz, the rest of them, walking out. Not applauding. Look at all these white assholes. Don't you have any shame, Republicans? You know, I mean, what is wrong with them? But what are they trying to signal to their base? That I guess their racism is great. Hey, and this is what we talk about on the show. The Republicans hate America. If they loved America, they wouldn't be such little fascist pricks, of course, but they would embrace the work that we need to do, especially regarding race, because the country was founded in racism. Yeah. The American, there are all kinds of American experiences, and we've struggled since the inception, and the founders knew it themselves. They knew the hypocrisy, but they were products of their time, and I wish I had prepared better for tonight's show. Now that I'm thinking about it, I should have rustled up some of the quotes from the founders regarding race in general, just their views on, like Thomas Jefferson. I'm paraphrasing, saying that how, basically saying how it is beyond doubt that white people are superior. Yeah, that people with darker pigment. It's so ridiculous, really. You got darker pigment. What does that have to do with your capacity to do anything? To learn, to be to be an exceptional person. It has nothing to do with it. It's ridiculous. But that's something. I don't have the exact quote, but I know it exists, and I'm sure more than one. George Washington, the same thing. They believed that people with darker pigment were inherently inferior. Lincoln, same thing. He, the great emancipator. Only after he exhausted every other option. And that's the actual history of this country. And I don't know how people with darker pigment stand it, just stand the revisionist history constantly. The elevation of, for example, Lincoln himself, turning him into, I remember being a little girl and going to Washington, D.C. on a school trip and seeing the Lincoln Memorial for the first time. And how gigantic, it's overwhelming, of course, especially for a child. And getting the child's history of Lincoln, Lincoln freed the slaves. But it's a bit more complicated than that. What is so difficult for these freaks, for these infants, about discussing the complexity, nobody's perfect, of course, and people are products of their time. The men who wrote the Constitution and wrote the Declaration of Independence were flawed beings. They had contradictions. They had hypocrisies. They were humans. Not infallible, this infallible fantasy that the Republicans have turned them into, but that's because that is what is required in a fascist state. Truth is anathema to fascism. This is why Republicans have completely devalued truth and made it subjective. Alternative facts? You know, I don't understand how anybody votes for these people. And the other day on the last show that we did, the last Tarabuster, someone wrote on my channel, I'm just going to look for it. Someone left a comment that they would not, wait, hold on, where is it? They wouldn't vote for Democrats because Democrats are all about open borders. I won't vote for an open border party. We know, first of all, that's bullshit, right? Democrats are not open borders, but that's the racist bullshit that Republicans peddle because they got nothing else, and they want to ensure that the American people remain divided and stupid and fighting each other until they get rid of pesky democracy once and for all. So they every fissure of disunity, just like Henry Wallace warned us about, the American fascists can be recognized by their deliberate perversion of truth and fact. They cultivate every fissure of disunity. That's the Republican Party. They use they use humanity as the wedge to divide people instead of bringing light to a situation, bringing understanding and bringing just respect. They bring hate and ignorance and I mean, just look at what they're doing, rehashing LGBT hate. Of course, trans people, trans people have been their recent boogie people, you know, the recent fear mongering, but it's getting worse because now they're legislating. They're going into families, and they're saying, no, you can't give your child life-affirming care. That's fascism. And it's all about control. When they talk about banning books, banning people, banning, what we can talk about, in any other country, if this were happening in Russia, we would recognize it for what it is. It's fascism. It's totalitarianism. It's not anywhere near democracy. Freedom, democracy, that's not freedom. What are they offering? The freedom to say the N-word. The freedom to hate. The freedom to be stupid. But it's always about somebody else, right? The freedom to hate your fellow American. Forget e pluribus unum. Jesus Christ. All right, this is Tara Devlin, and thank you, Jim, for your super chat. Cheers, Jim. Uh-oh, who we got in the chat? Haiku. Jim. Oh, thank you, Jim. We got a few mods in the chat, so I'm happy to say. Because we have a zero troll policy now. After we had a discussion amongst ourselves. We don't need any trolls. You can hang out, trolls, but we don't need your passing gas in our chat room, because that's what it's like. That's what Republicans do. You know, you're having a conversation. This is why they're incapable of functioning in a democratic society. It's like Marjorie Taylor Greene. She can't control herself when someone's talking. She has to yell and scream and act like an ape. And that's what Republicans do. This is because they're infants. When you're having a conversation, you can't talk. There's no. They will walk in and just lay a fart, and everybody's supposed to smell the stench. And I don't know. That's really what they do. It's the internet equivalent of laying a fart at a nice dinner party. That's what they do, right? They just come on in and dump something that is odious. They don't offer anything. Jim says, yep, it was a one comment ban. Good. We don't have, what is the point of them? And it's always fascinating. Like I say, I study Trumpanzees like Jane Goodall studies apes, but it is fascinating to me how much they are, they hate America, they hate democracy, and how stupid they are, how easily played they are. But it really does all go down to racism. It's true. And you can couple homophobia in there as well. Transphobia, of course. But that's also, that is related to their cowardice. So, and they're very sick people. When especially now, they're really going off the chart, talking about everybody's a pedophile now. Because they've fully embraced QAnon. But they're the groomers. They're the sick. They're the sick asses. They really are sick. They run pedophiles for Congress. They vote for pedophiles. They hang out. Look, they all have pictures with Josh Duggar. They love him. In fact, Hucksterby released some kind of video supporting him before everything truly came out. And I don't know if you follow the Josh Duggar trial. He's still crying that he was framed. They try everything under the sun. It really is like what Putin does. That's why it is. There's no coincidence. They can't help being fascist. So they act like Putin because that's who they are in their core. They hate America. They hate democracy. And they can't help it. And so Josh Duggar, who, and for those who don't know, it was and is, I guess, one of the 19 kids and counting kids, and not a kid anymore, but he was working on 19 kids himself, but also a child predator. Had porn, child sexual assault material. That's not called child porn anymore. Because that's kind of, it does, yeah, it makes sense to call it, because that's what it is. It's raped children. He got off on images of raped children. God knows what he did to his own children. And they're, on the internet, on the dark webs, passing these images around to his fellow scumbags. But one of his defense was that he was being framed by Joe Biden. First it was fake news. He's being framed. They're after him. Yeah. Because we don't have enough to do trying to save this country from the fascist coup, or ensure that people don't needlessly die without health care. We have to frame Josh Duggar. Oof, who cares? This is the thing. I hate them, okay? They're always talking about how we're shoving things down their throat. They're the ones who want to inflict their manias on us, on normal society. So you're not able to give your child life-affirming care. Yeah, they're passing laws that that's child abuse. You know, you're trying to save your child's life. And these freedom lovers come in and they say they know better. But it's always about, oh, well, do you think you know better than the parents? But only when the parents are a bunch of QAnon Trumpanzees. We're all supposed to listen to them. But if the parents are normal people who love their child, that happens to be trans, and they're trying to give their child a shot in life, you know, to love their child and give the child the health care the child needs, they don't want that. They want your child to die. They want your child to suffer. Because they want to know what your child's pee-pee is. What is the pee-pee? Because they're sick. You get it? That's why when normal people confirm Ketanji Brown Jackson to the Supreme Court, they walk out. Because when America wins, Republicans can't handle it. They hate that when America wins, because that means that they just took a step backwards, you know, for them. When it's more work for them to destroy America then. All right, let's get Thomas in here. I hope he's ready. I hope I'm ready, I should say. I'm calling on Skype. Bing bong. Bing bong bong. Uh-oh, what happened? Hello? I don't hear you now. Great. No audio. No audio. No audio. Here we go, right? I thought we fixed all these problems. Bing bong boom. Bing bong boom. Yeah, here we go again, right? With the fucking Skype.
What about now?
I hear you very, very low. Let me see. Poor Thomas.
What about now?
Let me talk. I heard something. Say something.
Can you hear me now?
I do hear you, but it's a little low.
That's weird.
Oh, now it sounds good. What happened? Maybe you're talking into the mic or something?
Yeah,
or something?
I had to move my mic.
All right.
To my face.
Now I hear myself echoing back at me when I'm talking, and that's not
Hold
good.
on, let me fix that.
Oh my God. Here comes my producer's here now. Great. Oh, brother. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I don't hear myself now. Okay, good.
Okay, great.
All right, Thomas, you were very excited to come on the show tonight. We're talking to Thomas Reynolds, the Nosey Liberal, FYI Nation.com. Every morning, 9 a.m. Every weekday morning. Look at me. I look not too. Anyway, whatever. You talk about body dysmorphic disorder. You're not alone. So.
Well, look, I got a haircut too today. My girlfriend cut my hair for me. So there's that.
So you got your teeth are like shining like moonbeams over here.
I gotta say, they're amazing. And I was talking to Robin Kincaid about this earlier today. It is literally like somebody gave me the right body parts.
Oh, again. Wow.
Because I feel so much more confident than I did. I still have some issues, and I am working on the list that I feel.
Does it feel weird or something, or?
A little bit, because you're getting used to a whole new face, basically.
Yeah.
Left.
How did they do it? Like, they had to measure your mouth, right, or something?
No, I did it myself.
What?
I did it all myself.
You made your own teeth? How?
My own little kit that I found, and I did it all myself.
Wait, hold on a second, Thomas. We got the music coming up.
Sure.
We'll be right back with Thomas Reynolds, the Nosey Liberal. All right, we're back. What? So wait. Where'd you get these teeth? Huh?
A kit.
A
Amazon.
kit?
You know, Jeff fucking Bezos, my man.
What?
I found a kit to be able to do it because I'm terrified of the dentist, and I knew it had to be done. So I went, and I miracles, was able to get something, and get something that fits, and get something that looks natural, and I don't look like a scary beast, and something I'm comfortable with.
They're just very white, though. You know,
Yes.
look at my
Yeah.
teeth. They're not that white as yours. I mean, you gotta make them less white. I think
Yes.
they're a little too white.
Maybe a filler for the graphics department can do that for me. But it's like, I was, you know me, I've always been very nervous and anxious. It's like some of that has been lifted. So I don't have to worry about it anymore.
That's
like
great.
Because always
Oops,
in my
sorry.
head, it's okay.
I know. I put Tom. I was looking for your lower third, and I clicked Tom Hartman's picture instead of Thomas Reynolds. So sorry.
It's okay. I have always been very self-aware and self-conscious of my looks, and losing my teeth was a disaster for me. And being afraid of the dentist made it even worse. So, but I knew I want to do media, and the only way I can get ahead is to actually look more professional. And be more professional in what I do with the Nosey Liberal and how we interact and how we carry on the show. And so I put my best foot forward to find that and it's just been amazing.
That's great.
You know, it was about a year process to get
Wow.
everything the way I really wanted it, but it's finally here. And I got to thank you, Tara. You have been one of my biggest supporters for content and creation to keep me motivated to keep doing this. Because you've always invited me on your show. You've been really great to me behind the scenes, and I wouldn't be able to do this without you and some of your audience as well, because they've come along for the ride.
Yes, of course. The audience. Yep. I hear you. That's why I'm here. It's I'm here for the chat room myself, really. So, yeah. Anyway, let's. I'm very happy for you, Thomas. It's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, and congratulations. But don't let the dentist scare you. What's worse? Everybody's scared of things like that, but you got to take care of yourself. Yeah. So, and that is an act of self-love, just like. Not beating yourself up and talking negative about yourself, all of that. It's all. I'm not just lecturing you. I'm saying it for myself too. So
I gotta say, I've gotten better at it. Not doing it because of you.
Well,
because I have a little tear in my head now.
That's good. Yes.
For going negative. So it's all you on that one.
Well, I'm glad because I did that myself. We're talking about talking negative about yourself. I would always do that, and then I mean it really is a soul killer. So when I see or hear other people doing it, especially friends like you, it stands out because I recognize it, and it's poison. It's poison for your soul. So you got to stop.
No, you're right about that, and it really is. And I get crippling depression, and when it happens bad, I'm lucky that I have people like you and my dear friend Steven, and my girlfriend, who I can turn to, because I don't know where I'd be
You're not
have to-
alone there. I mean, I've suffered with depression my whole life. And I have to, well, you guys know I talk about being in recovery. But also when I got clean, the depression was horrible. And for years I felt kind of, I was out of control with it. I would wake up and be like, "Oh, I'm having a bad day." But I actually had an epiphany once, and I'll share it, and then we'll get back to talking about politics. But
Sure.
because I used to read all self-help books and think, okay, I still feel depressed. I still feel I still feel negative. What's wrong?
Yeah.
I'm reading all these books. I was going to, I was hanging out with recovery people and all. But I had this epiphany because somebody said to me once, a grateful addict won't use. And I was like, yeah, well, I'm praying for gratitude. But I don't feel grateful. And then I realized, well, oh yeah, you don't, everything is a choice, and I realized that I can read self-help books all day, but if I continue the same negative behavior and thought pattern, nothing will change. So, you can have all the information, but if you don't put it into action, it's nothing. And that's where the work comes in, because everybody says, it's work. And I know for a fact it is, because it's hard to change your a pattern, that's been ingrained for forever. It's hard to think differently. It really is a choice, and it starts with recognizing it. It's sort of like going to the gym. It's like, oh, it's hard at first, but then you do it, you feel better. Yeah, and the more you keep it up, the more you feel better. But also, you got to keep up the positive patterns, because you can easily slip back. So my epiphany was that everything is a choice. So it wasn't just that because like when I was using, I didn't have a choice. I was like, you had to use every day, and then when I got clean, I had that back. I was able to not use a day at a time, and so, but that was only the one choice that I had back. Everything else was also a choice. So I had a choice whether to be negative. I had a choice whether to be happy, how to approach the day, like that is a choice. How to act to people. If you meet somebody, that's how you respond to someone who might be having a bad day. You know what I mean? Like all of that makes a difference. Anyway, I hope I'm making sense. What's that?
No, totally, because like one of my things is that I do that I'm trying to break is if somebody's in a bad mood or somebody comes at me, it totally changes my mood. And I go from being happy or doing the show or whatever, and then I malfunction. It's like an operator error. And I've been trying to focus better to do that. So I will not worry so much about, especially after the other day when somebody
what happened? Yeah.
comment.
You got into a bad place because some troll got you on the chat or something?
Yeah, on the chat really bad. And it's like, I realized I can't let that affect me like this. Because especially if we get big at FYI Nation the way I want to, they're going to come at me.
Yeah. It comes with the territory. You got to hear, you can't even imagine the things that people have said to me. They've called me it. Look, it, like, oh, look at it. It's wearing I remember I had the Resist shirt on, and somebody was like, ew, it's wearing a, but whatever. You got to look at it like people are, if they're knocking you, my father used to say every knock is a boost, right? But it's really true, it's
I decided on this on Thursday, after everything had happened, I'm going by the FDR response. I welcome your criticism.
Welcome your hatred, yeah.
I welcome your
But
hatred.
I mean, if somebody's attacking you physically, it just goes to show you they have nothing. They're just horrible people, and they're trolls, and they're probably sociopaths or whatever. No, they've done studies on trolls. They're usually very sick people, and I would just block them and also report them. Frankly,
and what made me mad at myself was that I completely lost it. And I haven't done that in a very long time.
Yeah.
And it was so unprofessional of me. And I hope to never repeat it again.
Well, hold on, Thomas. Here comes the music. And now I hear my echo again. I don't know why, but we'll be right back. All right, we're back with Thomas Reynolds, the Nosey Liberal. Okay, let's. This isn't a show about psychiatry, even though it can be. It is. It kind of is in a little. It is therapy for the resistance, and we do get very personal on the show. But let's. Do you want to talk any more about what happened on that day, or?
Good. I'm good. The moral to the story is bring it.
Right.
Like
that's how it is, man. You got to be like that, because otherwise they will win. If they get to you, then they own you. Yeah. And it really is true. When I get criticism, I from a troll. Or from I'll have these right wingers will contact me in various ways. And they got nothing. They'll call me the C word. They call me a dyke. They call me all the and to me, I respond with, "Thank you. You just validated that I'm doing it correctly." Because if they took time out of their day, out of their meaningless life, to track me down, to get my contact information somehow and call me all kinds of names, it means that I'm annoying them somehow, fuck them. It means I'm doing it right. Wait, I have to put him
exactly. and that is the perspective that everybody wants doing a show, but everybody follow. It's exactly what you're saying. If you get under their skin,
right?
Personal relationship or whatever type of issue it is, you just need to realize that keep on plowing through.
Yeah,
it's going to get better for you in the long run, and that will piss them off even more.
Right. You just gotta. And honestly, this is the thing about conservatives. They are sick. All right. So you're already dealing with people who aren't well. You understand? They're and I mean it. I'm not just saying that. There's something wrong with them. All you got to do is tap the surface. Just scratch the surface. I talk about it on the show. If they were honest with themselves and give me 10 minutes with them, we'll get to the bottom of it. And it's racism or and that is connected to a bunch of other moral and spiritual, psychological failings, of course. It's cowardice, it's fear, and that's why they're racist, because they're afraid of something. And that, it really is a pathetic way to go through life, and they're very pathetic. They're small and sad. Like when the Republicans walked out when Ketanji Brown Jackson was confirmed. What it does, it doesn't shame her. They shame themselves. They prove that they are small and that they really are not. They're not well. There's something sick about them. So and the Republicans in leadership and power are a whole other ball of wax, because the motivations are even more nefarious. Because they want power, they want money and power for themselves, and then of course there are other, and that's why they have to. They exploit the sicknesses in the country, in the body politic, and they make us sick. I mean, it really is sick to do that. What kind of what is the point of that? That's why I was really thinking, why would they do that? What are they trying to accomplish by doing that? Nothing good.
Our friend Jim who is a moderator in your chat and in my chat as well, for the Nosey Liberal. Thank you, Jim, by the way. Had pointed out yesterday that the only thing they want, or this morning, is the only thing they want is to get richer, basically.
Them. Mm-hmm.
And that is their sole motivation. It's greed.
Yeah.
It's capitalism.
Right.
Prosperity Jesus and those freaks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because what else but a white Jesus will bring them the bottom line?
Right. Right.
So when you ask the question, why are they this way? Greed. It's
right.
One of seven deadly sins for a reason. And they're very good at it.
Mm-hmm. The Republicans in power. They hate America. We can't stress it enough, because this is why the Democrats need to get loud. They need to fight unapologetically, and that's why it was beautiful when who was the representative today? He's getting a lot of coverage in the media because he spoke directly after Josh Hawley and took him down. Representative Schatz, 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 and I don't know if you saw the clip.
I didn't get a chance.
Yeah, I don't know if I play it, you won't be able to hear it. But he, he said, this is the guy who put his fist up to the insurrectionists. He's he called him out and gave him a real case of red ass in front of the country, and it got a lot of play on Twitter. In fact, it was viewed millions and millions of times, which is good. That's what you got to do. And then he was invited on different corporate media shows where he again stressed that Democrats have to fight, have to stop with the niceties and just fight these fuckers before they kill us all. I mean, I'm paraphrasing it, but that's what they're doing. When they walk out on, I just to stress it, I don't understand why you would walk out, and what is the message you're sending to your scummies, your scummy base?
We talked about this this morning.
Mm-hmm.
They hate black women.
Oh yeah, that is so clear.
They cannot tolerate a strong black woman.
Oh yes.
They call Kamala Harris the cackle queen.
Oh yes, that's right. They hate. Well, that's true. They do attack women, of course, of being shrill, of their voice. Somehow, the way they go after AOC is the same way. Like, you're supposed to just be like Amy Coney, resting bitch face Barrett, and be a handmaid. Yeah. What the hell? What's that?
Or Marjorie Trader Greene.
Oh yeah, Marjorie Trader Greene. She's just beyond. She's another case all to herself. I mean, I think that Marjorie Taylor Greene is mentally ill. She is. I know that, and of course she's. Everything about her is a fraud. She's a fraud. They're all frauds too. That's the other thing, and I think that's another reason they hate. They talk about the elites. They're the fucking elites. Excuse me. I have to stop cursing, right? Yes, stop. But they're the elites. There's not the irony of somebody like Ginny Thomas going on about the elites. She's the freaking elite. She is. She's married to a Supreme Court justice, and she's a damn traitor. And she's not the elite.
Has been with the lifetime appointment. I don't know more elite than that.
Right, exactly. The elites, and but it really is. So they talk about liberals, and they would attack. Remember, they would attack Barack Obama, arugula eating, and they do it all the time. Marco Rubio recently did it. He used the same attack. They attack the American people. They're saying, because let me try to find this Rubio. He was like, "Oh yeah, we're not, arugula eating, and all kinds of." He listed a litany, a laundry list of stereotypical liberal behaviors. Driving our Priuses, drinking our whatever. I don't even know. Like, it was just like a list of stupid, superficial things that somehow offend the asshole, the bottom feeders, who I guess who they call real America. And that's another thing that Democrats need to call out, because when Republicans talk about real America, they're dividing us again. Everything is divide and conquer, hate your neighbor, hate and mock your neighbor. Like, the only thing that's worthy is unconsciously, I guess, doing everything Donald Trump says. Hold on a second. Here's the music. All right, we're back. Wait, what did he say? Marco Rubio? Oh, whatever. It doesn't even matter. It was months ago. He was like, "Yeah, I'm not a." Wait, I don't know. I'm being annoying. I know because I can't remember exactly what he said. But it's just the whole thing is they're sick. They're sick people, and the Democrats need to not be shy about calling that out. Like, for example, with the Supreme Court in general, Amy Coney, resting bitch face Barrett, she's a disgrace. Okay, she is the least. She has the least experience of all of, as far as maybe there's somebody else who's less experienced, but they all have no experience on trying cases. In fact, Amy Coney, resting bitch face Barrett, was the first time she sat on the bench was 2017, when Donald Trump put her in wherever she was, whatever circuit she was on. But she was shoved onto a vacancy that Moscow Mitch McConnell was denying another woman who had darker pigment that was supposed to be confirmed. But they blocked her and to put resting bitch face on there. What's that?
They're not hitting minorities for you.
Yeah, that and she went along with the scam. She never tried a case. She never argued a case in front of a judge. All of her experience being a lawyer, she passed the bar. That's basically her experience, And she is an academic. She was an academic. She's not a lawyer. She's not a practicing lawyer.
Remember when the good old days when George W. Bush was president? And what was her name? Harriet something or other?
Harriet Myers, right?
Yeah, where he tried to basically nominate his lawyer.
Yes. Yes. That's what they do. Yeah, because they hate America. This is what come on, Democrats. If you Democrats are listening, call us out. If you love America, you don't put unqualified people in positions of power. If you love this country, you like I when I go to the Robin Kincaid get together in June, I'm not. I'm gonna have to get cat sitters. I love my cats. I'm not gonna get somebody who hates cats and has no experience in taking care of them because I love them. Same thing with the country. If you love the country, you don't put unqualified, I don't know, goons, placeholders, flunkies, idiots. I mean, people who have no business being in power, but the reason they do it is because it's like putting termites into your house, into the foundation of your house. They want them there to whittle away at democracy. Yeah, so I'm looking at this Marco Rubio. I found it, but let me just play it for the crowd, in case,
Sure.
just because I mentioned it.
Now look, if your daily routine is to wake up in the morning and turn on MSNBC as you ride your Peloton, and then you go on Twitter as you're drinking your caramel macchiato, and then you're reading the New York Times as you're eating your avocado toast, I imagine all this makes perfect sense to you. After all, for these people, they believe this ridiculous narrative that every Republican is an insurrectionist, probably a racist, wants to overthrow the U.S. government,
Yeah.
and wants to destroy democracy.
And I don't know if you heard that, Thomas. Probably not, because
No.
ECAM is trying to murder me slowly. But he's talking about if you're if you wake up, you put on MSNBC, you get on your Peloton, and you read the New York Times while eating your avocado toast. This isn't for you. You probably think that all Republicans are insurrectionists who are probably racist and want to overthrow democracy, as if that's not true. Okay. As if that's not true. So he uses these divisive terms, because that's all they do. You will never hear a Democrat get up in front of everybody and say, if you're a dumbass who married your cousin and wants a child bride and eats greasy bullshit food without even looking and shoving it down your gullet. And, you never hear Democrats talk like that. But Republicans have been doing this forever. George W. Bush campaigning around the country, talking about real America, talking about Massachusetts liberals and New York liberals. And Democrats don't go around saying, oh, these Tennessee conservatives, these Tennessee morons, these, they don't do that. They try to reach out to these idiots constantly who, frankly, it's tedious to me because it's like it doesn't matter what the Democrats do. The Republicans are not going to vote for them because they've been, I don't even know. I'm trying to psychologically analyze them again, but it goes deep. It really does go down to racism. They are, and it's fear, ultimately. So everything, the country is, as we know, it went from the most to the least upwardly mobile with the widest income gap. We went from the slightest income gap to the widest income gap in 40 years. And that's not by accident. That's because of government policy. And the Republicans needed, of course, like they needed somebody else to blame than their policies and the rich who they are actually serving. As every move they make is a testament to, every move they make makes the rich richer and makes the working class the more malleable working poor. That's what happens. So
back to Tara, goes back to what I was saying earlier. These people, the Republicans, they just want to profit.
Yep.
It goes profit over people. Jim
Yep.
was absolutely right when he pointed that out. Because this is how they behave. They don't care about anything but their bottom line, whether it's for their donors' bottom line or for their own bottom line.
Yep.
That's why they can believe in a guy who tells you that if you put money into a pot, the pot is going to go richer because Jesus. You know, this
Right.
is their behavior. Because you're right, they are absolutely batshit crazy.
Yep.
And it's not even a joke.
Yeah.
Like, it would be a joke if they brought serious arguments to the table. But when you are talking about a group of people who believe that there's pedophilia going on in a basement that doesn't exist in a pizzeria,
Right.
and make this shit up.
Yep.
And don't have any cogent arguments
Yep.
for policy.
I know. Yep.
And what about Justice Jackson? They tried to make her, because she was a defense attorney.
Yep.
They tried to make her soft on crime.
Yep. Hold on a second, Thomas. We'll be right back. All right, we're back with Thomas Reynolds, the Nosey Liberal, FYINation.com. And yeah, like you were saying, the same old canards about soft on crime. Of course, all Democrats are soft on crime, but especially her, because she's got darker pigment. You know, that's...
I mean, Tom Cotton went on the floor of the Senate and tried to say that she would defend the
Nazis. Yeah.
And
what a scumbag.
By the way, so, because I'm sorry, we are enlightened people, and we believe in a defense system.
Yes, that's right. Exactly.
So everybody should get a fair trial.
Yes.
We're just going to hang you.
Yep.
And make it a kangaroo court.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I want everybody
to get a defense.
Yeah. And it frustrates me to no end that these people do this.
Yeah.
And get away with it. And luckily, the media actually got on Tom Cotton's case. I saw this weekend.
Oh, really?
Everybody pounced on him.
They did. They pointed out the fact that having a defense is kind of like the cornerstone of Western civilization. I mean, this is why King John was forced to sign the Magna Carta. You know, when was that? 1,000 years ago or something? When was that? But so it was because you can't just disappear people into jails and not charge them. In fact, we all know the founders. John Adams defended the British soldiers who murdered colonists in the Boston Massacre, and it's to show that this is what am I saying? It's a nation of laws, and everyone is worthy of a defense. And for him to say, oh, she would probably defend Nazis. First of all, we know what he's doing. He's a piece of dirt. But it is also points to that, they hate democracy. And not only do they hate it, they're confused by it, and they want to make sure their morons are equally confused by it, because he knows better. You know that he knows better.
Of course he does.
Yeah, but his dumbasses don't. Yeah, he doesn't care how he makes people more ignorant than they are.
It's all about his narrative that he's trying to purvey, that Judge Jackson is somehow soft on crime.
Right.
That was criminal what he did.
I know.
It was criminal, and it was also pig-headed.
Yeah.
These people just don't give a damn about democracy.
Yeah.
It's like, what was the other thing that we talked about with Judge Jackson? Because this one was important too.
Go ahead. Sorry.
The where they try to basically.
Oh yeah, but make her a pet. Like she enables pedophiles. What?
Yeah, like collaborating with
It's
pedophiles.
unreal. Yeah.
It's like, are you kidding me?
Well, this is the new thing. It's all over. You go to, there's a website called thewriting.com. It's
Okay.
TheRightting, The Writing. And someone aggregates all of the right-wing websites, and all of them
I like that.
are talking about pedophilia. This is how disgusting they are. First of all, they're pedophiles. Okay, they're the ones. Everything is a confession or a projection to them, for them, and they know this is bullshit. Charging her, saying she's soft on pedophiles, and in fact, when you go through, apparently some of the journalists went through the cases of the justices and the judges that the Republicans love, and they had equally the sentencing. They had their sentencing of pedophiles were as varied as Judge Jackson's were. So they do it. They deliberately do it, not only to tickle the racist funny bones, but to tickle the QAnon funny bones, the conspiracy theorists who are now all of a sudden, they say, not only do Democrats have a different political ideology, they are actually evil. They are guilty of the absolute worst of the worst crimes. There's no more disgusting crime. What's that?
No trial, straight to jail,
Oh.
because Hillary did it. Hillary did
Well, it's just it goes to show you. I mean, this is who they are. There is no difference. We were talking about this on the show the other day, because it is exactly like what Putin is doing in Russia.
Yep.
Talking about the Ukrainians as Nazis, and then the Russian soldiers are going in there and committing war crimes, executing people, and calling them Nazis, and other atrocities, all under the guise of they're Nazis, and they're not Nazis. And in fact, it's the friggin' Russians who are acting like the damn Nazis, and the Republicans are doing the same thing, calling Democrats pedophiles. Now everything's a pedophile, so everything's critical race theory now. Everybody's a pedophile, and where does it go from here? Can you actually talk somebody out of out of this insanity and into behaving normally again? Right? You know what I mean? Is this a redeemable party?
Tara, as someone who was a Republican, and I point this out a lot because I have a special insight into the crazy, I could never, even in my most radical Republican days, could never go to this level of just insanity. And I have come to the conclusion, where Michael Malloy is and where you are and where Robin Kincaid is, you cannot talk these people out of it.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be deprogrammed. This is as if you are in a cult. They behave as if they somehow were inducted. And these people, I mean, on Laura Ingram's show, they were talking about the pedophilia being needed to be removed from Twitter.
Are you kidding?
No, I have the clip.
What pedophilia? You know what I mean? This is how sick they are, because it also, it's dangerous. You're going to have morons who believe it, and you're going to have people like that asshole that drove to the pizzeria without the basement to liberate all of the child victims who were supposedly in the basement. So, at this website, thewriting.com, each day this person aggregates the headlines that going around the right-wing cesspool. Here's just a sampling. First headline: cancel your Disney vacation, go to Dollywood, because of Disney is a pedophile enablers, right? Disney let me just continue. Disney is now funding child abuse. Okay, and this is what their child abuse is. Listen, this is the subhead. Disney is now helping fund affirming care for minor children. Those procedures, often touted by the left, include things like breast removal and mutilation of genitalia. They're talking about trans kids again. And this is how sick they are. So mutilation of genitalia, we're talking about life affirming care. These people have zero understanding, and they don't give a shit who kills themselves, how kids who are trans suffer, and they want them to die. They just want them to die, and like other minority groups, they don't care who they sacrifice on the altar of their greed, frankly, because it doesn't matter, who dies, who suffers. They are being used. They're the latest in the Republican shit show, frankly. So and it goes on. Disney and here's another headline. Disney and the Biden administration support mutilating children. So now gender confirmation surgery is mutilating children. Okay. Disney's business model is turning kids into dysfunctional adults. So let's see. It's a political this is what the subhead. It's political opposition to a Florida law barring teachers from pushing sexual issues on kindergartners. Might be out of tune with the old family values of Disney, but the company's actual base, like that of virtually every entertainment court, is a narrow slice of whatever. You know what I'm saying? But they're saying that teachers are the Florida law, don't say gay law, is pushing sexual. It just stops them from pushing sexual issues because their minds are in the gutter. You see? Hold on, we'll be right back. And okay, we're back with Thomas Reynolds, the Nosey Liberal. Yeah. Political opposition to Florida law barring teachers from pushing sexual issues. So this is how sick they are. According to Republicans, I mean, because when you talk about being gay, they automatically think of your pee-pee, you see? Because they're sick. It's like, is this how you think? You sick little scumbags? And if that's how you think, that's not our problem. That's on you. If somebody's like, if you have a partner who has the same kind of pee-pee, and they can't help but put their minds in the gutter, that's not the fault of the person who's just living their life, This is how sick they are. They cannot be trusted with power. And you know what? I have to say, the other thing, I'm sick of them, as we know, and we're sick from them. This country is sick from them. I'm sick of them. They're always talking about how everybody's shoving things down their throats. And in fact, I just saw a clip of Ron DeSantis and his anti-woke baloney saying, liberals want to shove things down our throat. Calling Dr. Freud, frankly. Everybody's shoving things down their throats. But they're the ones shoving their fascist ideology, their infantilism, their sickness, their perversion down everybody's throats. Because, nobody's, if a teacher is married to somebody who has the same pee-pee and they're like, oh, my husband, my wife, or whatever is picking me up from school, and, you think of sex, that's not on the teacher. The kids don't think like that, they don't, unless you make them think like that. You know what I mean? Because you're sick. Well, it's ridiculous.
here's the thing: they are so repressed. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure
That's it too. Yeah.
this is where they go. They don't have critical thinking, so they can
Yes.
meander into the crazy really easily.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you need people to go out there and blast. This is wrong. I don't know any or Democratic congressman or congresswoman under investigation by the Department
I
of
know.
Justice
Right.
for trafficking.
Right. Except for Matt Gaetz. Right. Exactly.
And he's a Republican.
Yep.
You know? I know, the Democratic Party has had its issues, but Jesus Christ, they're not in the bottom of the DNC chair place
Mm-hmm.
and plotting everybody's death. I mean, Fox News is the same channel that 1 minute Joe Biden is completely senile.
I know, right?
His
Yeah.
25th Amendment. All right.
Uh-huh.
And the next segment, I shit you not, he is the big guy conspiring to Hunter Biden.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's the mastermind. Which is it? Is he
All right.
senile, or what plot? Fever dream are we following?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, that's what they did to Barack Obama too. He was either and it was all racist attacks. He was either shucking and jiving, or he was lazy. That was another thing. Another trope. Or he was a mastermind, inflicting Marxist ideology on the country, It was, and that's what it would, it doesn't matter if it's complete cognitive dissonance. They don't have to explain themselves. And they never have to, they never pay a price either. And this is what drives me crazy. And I talk about it on the show, that I'm tired of Republicans getting away. They get away with their crimes, and they get away with their manias. Like, you mark these words. When all of the pedophilia bullshit goes away, there'll be something else. There'll be another attack on another minority group du jour. It'll probably be immigrants. It'll, they rotate, But it's usually, it will be a targeted minority group. They will pay no price for their for their pedophilia hysteria, and I'm tired of that too. They never pay a price. Where is the price for death panels, right? When we had to endure that. The constant attacks on when we couldn't even have a decent normal town hall meeting with our representatives without a bunch of teabaggers or tea morons screaming about death panels. Everywhere they go, they do not bring anything to the table. They don't bring decency. They don't bring an actual debate to the conversation. They're just there to do the bidding of the morons the greed-centered ghosts of the Gilded Age, pulling their strings, sending these useless idiots out, fanning them across from sea to shining sea to turn this country ultimately into the kind of autocracy that they want, because it makes it easier to steal. To use, that's really what it's all about ultimately.
When some radical leftist that we love on the far left goes to me, Tom, what is the difference between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party? My go-to was, well, this and this. Now my go-to is, well, the Republican Party is batshit crazy. I mean, there's no other. You can't compare one party with the other anymore.
Mm-hmm.
One is willing to talk about policy and procedures and how to make things.
I know.
Air Act was made better this week, and nobody covered it. They covered.
I know.
On Fox News, Joe Biden wandering around.
Yeah, I know. Oh, well, yeah, because nobody was talking to him. I mean, it's like, what is this, like perpetual high school, you know? I hate them. Oh, God, I hate them. Oh.
And they went on about that, but nobody actually talked policy that saves
right.
lives.
Well,
in my life, I would not be here for not that long.
What? I didn't understand what you said.
Not be here if not for that law.
For the ACA. Yeah, I know. You and a lot of, and many other people. And the ACA sucks because, yes, people there are parts of the law that we absolutely needed, but of course the only fix we need is Medicare for all. The thing that the ACA did, and it drives me crazy, and I think I told you, like, my sister is very annoying at times, and she says to me constantly, you get that Obamacare, you're on that Obamacare, and it drives me fucking crazy because, and I say, you're on Obamacare. Everybody's on Obamacare. Stop with this. It's because she doesn't know much. You know, she's not listening to news. She's hearing things in passing. And Obamacare is regulation on the for-profit health insurance racket. That is really that's the problem. They're the parasite sucking our miseries. Mm-hmm.
And not to mention the Affordable Care Act was still a giveaway to the privateers.
Of course, yeah.
It was still really good for them.
Of course, that's why it leaves millions out. I mean, what kind of fix leaves? That's why it drives me crazy. Even Obama was talking in the White House. We didn't do everything. We couldn't get everything we wanted, and don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good, or whatever. Yeah. But it leaves millions out. That's another thing that the Democrats, I'm sick of. Just in general, Democrats need to fight, but they also need to start using, e pluribus unum as the battle plan. We don't leave people behind, and explain it like we're pro-democracy, because you cannot have a democracy and this kind of country that leaves millions out and has "I got mine, sucks to be you" as really the national motto. All right, well, hold on, Thomas. This is the end of the Progressive Voices part of the show. Thank you so much for hanging out. If you want to listen to the rest of the show, go to youtube.com/C for channel/Tarabuster. Come and hang out in the chat room when we have our live show on 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday evenings, or anytime in between that I can get my act together. Become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin, and we will win. Support the independent liberal media, because we're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy. We stick together. We win. My name is Tara Devlin. Thank you, Thomas Reynolds from FYINation.com. I'll see you soon. Boom. All right. I did it. All right. We're back. So we still have more show. So what were you saying?
Where was I? Well, let me bring this up. Off track, so we'll just change it. We can do that.
Yes.
I had someone on I have Twitch as part of the streaming that we do. And somebody came in after I played a video about Trump talking about how the media is against him and it's rigged, and it's like
oh my God. All right. Same old. Ugh.
Yeah. And this Twitter person, I don't think he was a troll, but close, came in and was like, well, I understand why Donald Trump hates the media, because 90% of the stories were all against him. And my reply my reply to that was, well, 90% of the time he's full of shit.
Right.
Actually.
Right.
And that he went on another tangent about Trump and how if they were only fair to him. And I said, I think you're confusing commentary with news. I don't understand what commentary is. You mentioned MSNBC as your source for the news going after Donald Trump, but they have All In with Chris Hayes, they have Phil Maddow, they have Joy Reid, they have all these people giving commentary. Most don't understand the difference between what you and I do, which is commentary, and what a presenter of the news does, because that is essentially lost in this country. We don't have that anymore. That you don't have straight news anymore, even on CNN, which is the best out of all of them for straight news. You don't really have that. It bleeds in. So people just have this, I don't know, thought that the news is biased.
Right.
The only news that is biased is Fox News and Newsmax and OAN, because frankly, they are skewed and they're scripted, and they're never going to win a news Emmy. They're never going to happen. You have to know what news is. If you want to go for news, there's France 24, there's Al Jazeera, there's BBC, there's even Sky News for that matter. You can go and find news, but you have to want to find it.
Right.
And these people that we're talking about will never go and outside the bubble to find that information.
No. I mean, this is why the media will make or break this country. It's part of the problem. The corporate media is really one of the reasons we're in this boat. So, and I was actually talking to Robin this morning about it too. We were discussing some of the corporate media frustrations and how everything is a poll, how they poll. They keep repeating this poll that Joe Biden is down in the polls. Like 70% think something that he is not doing a good job, and then they're like, well, how can he break through? Unemployment's at record lows and all of this other stuff, right? Why isn't it breaking through? Well, maybe because you keep polling people's ignorance, and then you hash it over again and again and again on the corporate media. Instead of informing people, you're saying, oh, well, Joe Biden isn't doing a good job, people think. So people who are not paying attention, that's all they're going to hear. And then when they get the call, oh, what do you think Joe Biden's doing? When the pollster calls, they'll be like, oh, he's not doing a good job. And the Republicans actually think that unemployment is at a record high when it is the exact opposite. So why are you polling people's stupidity? It's like when you poll people, you're assuming that they're informed, but they're not. So why don't you inform them? Why? And the reason why we're swirling the bowl is partly because the American people, do not have a common definition of things. We don't have a common definition of democracy. What does it mean? What does this country mean? What are we founded on? What is freedom? They have a different definition. What's freedom? Freedom to them is the freedom to not care about anybody else. Freedom to normal people is the freedom to go to a doctor when you're sick, to make a living wage, have a decent middle-class life, have the freedom to be human, to get sick, to take a day off, to retire in security when you're after you're in a lifetime of work. And this is, or maybe if you are disabled, have the freedom to be able to have a life, a decent life. We don't have to sell apples on the street corner like the little matchstick girl. I mean, that's freedom. And Republicans have so distorted the definitions of everything, and now they want to tell people what to say, what to think, what to do for their children, who to marry, what books to read. And they think that they're all about freedom. But you can't read a book about one of the books that they're banned, that is being banned all over the country, is the book about who's that little girl that segregated schools. Let me see. She was the first little girl that went to school and all the white devils were screaming at her. Went to when the schools were desegregated. Ruby. Anyway, a book she wrote about her experience. That's one of the books that's banned. It's incredible. You can't read that book. Now, in any country that bans books is not on the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy, especially. And people who think that their position of authority, they're representing the people by banning books, is really not worthy of holding leadership positions in a modern democratic country. They're unfit. They need to go to Putin's Russia. Go where you want to, where you love. Go to Turkey. Go to Putin. Hungary. That's what I mean. Go to Russia. That's what you want. But instead, they want to bring that here. They want to turn this country into an authoritarian cesspool. And that's why they walked out when Ketanji Brown Jackson was confirmed. Because, it's decent.
Come on. They're just asking questions.
What?
They're just asking questions. The whole Tucker Carlson. I'm just asking.
I know, right. What do they want? Who are they doing? What is this about? It's all about. I mean, he's a scumbag. They're all scum. They are the scummiest of scums, and the rehashing of attacks, against trans people, against gay people, it never stops. And the fact is, the world keeps evolving. Young people don't, and this is it, really, it's true. Young people aren't buying their bullshit. It's too late. They realize that. So they're doing everything they can in their power to kind of re-educate youth with homophobia. They miss that. They miss the homophobic bang for their buck that they got back in the day when they were announcing constitutional amendments. Oh, it doesn't matter that gay people were getting bashed and killed and, attacked. I hate them. I just hate them. Anyway.
No, I can't, Tara, at this point, I can't blame you. I tried really hard for a long time to be someone who is willing to talk with Republicans and conservatives and have a conversation. And I had to give up on that.
Yeah.
Because these people do not want to have an honest dialogue.
No.
They would rather talk about the QAnon conspiracy that was on the Alex Jones show than an actual thing that is important to why we need to deal with certain things. They don't care about anything but putting profit over people.
Yeah, that's it.
Because we're in this situation where we're trying to crawl out of dealing with a tough economy and inflation and all this other, and all they can do is the president.
Oh, yeah.
Made this all happen.
Right.
Again, it goes back to, which is he, the mastermind or the senile old man?
Well, yeah.
Pick one.
Exactly. And but I'm just sick of them. They're just constantly like little gnats. Pick. If there's inflation. There was a worldwide pandemic. There's an attack on democratic nation, which, of course, that's a whole other story. These Russian, these Putin lovers, they voted to not track Putin's war crimes, things like that. They're just disgusting I mean, we got to really take them at their word that they hate democracy. But instead of helping the American people, this is why we know they hate America and they want to turn this country into an autocracy like Putin's autocracy, because we got an economy that's moving on the up or whatever. The problem is concentrated wealth and wealth disparity, but then we have on top of it the inflation, right? Inflation is rising, but instead of getting together with the Democrats, with your fellow representatives and the representatives of the people, to come up with ways to help the American people and to deal with this inflation, all they can do is sit on Twitter, sit on their stupid podcasts that they all have now, because that's all they do, and pick and pick. They have nothing to offer. They just have lies, criticisms. It's not even just. It's like empty complaints. There's nothing to them except they're holding their breath, hoping the American people can be in more pain so they can get back in power and kill democracy once and for all. That's really what it's about.
And they've already promised what they're going to do
when
they get back in power. Investigate.
Yes, that's right.
Attack President Biden for his crimes against humanity, as if that's what is going to stop inflation or high gas prices. They don't have any actual plans to rule because they're not real leaders. They don't care about ruling. For England, for all the problems with the Conservative Party, and there are plenty in England, at least for the love of Christ, they try and govern.
All right.
You can't say that about this party.
No.
They're holding up
a
funding bill over Title 42 for COVID-19 relief. They don't want to lead. They don't want to do anything effective.
Oh no! They want more death and more pain and more. Like, for example, where is this life expectancy in the United States continues to fall. Where is this? I just had this article, but it's unbelievable all over the world, and it partly is because of COVID. Let me see, life expectancy, dropping here we go. This is from Common Dreams, Jessica Corbett. So, drop in life expectancy speaks volumes about the U.S. handled COVID. While other high-income countries saw their life expectancy increase in 2021, recovering about half of their losses, U.S. life expectancy continues to fall. Now, that is music to Republican ears. They want death by despair. They want more death. They want COVID out of control. We're going to hit a million dead from COVID soon. And that's why, I get very despondent about the country, because I don't understand how anybody will vote for these filthy fascist bastards who stood and lied to everybody's faces, saying, it's just going to disappear like magic. And then they told people to scream in everybody's faces about wearing a mask. They told them that was like the worst assault on their freedoms. Turning these already infantile and tediously just tedious human beings into even more infantile and tedious by but they could have done the exact opposite. It could have been a unifying event. We could have been like, we're in this together, we'll get through this together. The Republicans could have encouraged their morons, we're doing this, e pluribus unum and all. like other countries did, but they can't have unity. It interferes.
Get vaccinated, save a life, save your life, get vaccinated.
Oh, no.
Instead, But instead, what are they interested in? Jail Fauci, fire Fauci.
Oh, yes, right. All the people who, like Dr. Fauci, spends his life in public service, have contributed more to humanity than the entire Republican Party and all of their descendants and ancestors have for generations. And they attack anybody who, wants to do something decent.
They're practically blaming him
Right.
for it.
Right.
Because of some research that was done in Wuhan. And they're
Right.
trying to exploit it with him.
Of course.
And make him as if he was the perpetrator. Because they always need an imaginary purple.
Yes, of course.
They always need somebody to be the devil.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, they can carry on with their narrative, they can attack people, and they can get away with impunity, like you talked about, and never have any result. Like Sarah Palin.
God,
she's running for Congress. She was the mastermind of the death cult.
I know.
The death panel.
Yes.
Why is she
Yes.
at the table of anything?
I know. She did no price. They pay no price. So, they'll vote for her again.
And here she is. She might be the next congressman.
Oh, God.
Or person.
Please, no. Please, no. I know. And what does she offer? She's going to come out with a big gulp. Like, everybody's going to, I mean, what do they bring? They are nothing but walking trolls. That's it. Triggering the libs. This is why the Democrats really need to take my advice on this as well, because if your motivation, if this is what you're doing, is if your entire agenda revolves around triggering your fellow Americans, then you're not a patriot. What is so hard about saying that, Democrats, when they come out and like, oh, big gulp, I'm having my big gulp, or whatever, these libs are gonna love this, and that's your motivation, then from Joe Biden on down, they need to say it is not patriotic to run your policies under the banner of making your fellow American upset. If that's all you're doing, then you're not a patriot and you have nothing to offer the American people. I mean, what is so friggin' hard about saying that? Instead, what will the Democrats do? They'll be like, oh, I can work with them, and there's some saying of, oh, thank you, Mitt Romney.
Susan, or
oh God, please.
Susan Collins, three lousy Republicans.
I know. I mean, Susan Collins put Kavanaugh on the bench. They put these unfit, unqualified sexual predators on the bench. And then the other thing, I mean, speaking of during the Ketanji Brown Jackson hearings, this is another reason the Democrats, I wish they would listen to this show, because when they attacked, they kept talking about how what's his face, Kavanaugh, was so picked upon. The Democrats never pushed back on this new narrative, as if like, oh, it's both sides again, right? Everybody just picked on Kavanaugh when there was no FBI investigation. It was we know that was swept under the rug. And also, Dr. Ford was 100% certain that beer bong, I like beer, Revenge of the Clintons, Kavanaugh assaulted her. So they're like, now everybody was talking about rape rooms. No, because one asshole, I think it was Avenatti, had some other kooks came flying out of the woodwork. That they use that as the distraction from the actual, assault that happened that we were talking about. Dr. Ford was 100% certain Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her, and she said she felt like he was going to kill her. He had covered her mouth, and he was sexually assaulting her, and she couldn't breathe, and he was drunk, and that's who he is. So,
Tara, we gotta worry about the pizza store pedophiles, though. Don't worry about
I know, right, exactly. So we have to worry about, absolute nonsense. And but that's, see what I mean? They just conflate, and they throw it out there. So during the hearings, and the American people were watching the hearings, so that then they rewrite history. They're like, oh, I'm so glad this won't be a circus like what you did to Brett Kavanaugh and Amy Coney, handmaid, and no Democrat said, what circus? Did Dr. Ford pound the table and scream, I like beer? No, that was your guy. And in fact, Dr. Ford, I don't know what you do talking about rape rooms, but Dr. Ford didn't say anything about rape rooms, but she did say that she was 100% sure that Brett Kavanaugh had sexually assaulted her. So let's not rewrite history. What the hell is so hard about that? Anyway.
You hit the nail on the head, Tara.
Yeah.
It's crazy that these guys and gals can get away with this on a constant basis.
Yeah, I know.
And it drives me nuts that we don't have a better spokespeople like yourself to be able to...
I know. It drives myself crazy. I don't have myself. I just wish they would listen. What the hell?
Yeah. It shouldn't be just us screaming at the top of our lungs.
Mm-hmm.
It's a choir of people pointing out that you are batshit crazy. We do not go to little basements and eat babies. If you believe that, you're whacked in the head.
Right.
It's really that simple.
Yes.
More Democrats need to be as forceful with the truth as Republicans are with their lies.
Yes.
Only we had more Democrats like that, or independents. It doesn't matter. Allies.
Right.
More people need to be honest. And it pains me when somebody like Joe Wallace, a right winger, is calling out Tucker Carlson over his Russia asset nonsense. And getting into a TV war on Twitter with Tucker Carlson. We should be doing that. The Democratic Party and people who are allies should be fighting the #1 rated host in America because he's wrong. He's a liar.
Right.
And it's all for show. There's no truth in any of it.
Right.
And it pisses me off to no end that Joe Walsh is the one that's calling him out. You know, it boggles my mind that people aren't willing to do.
Just the thing is, the Democrats, in my opinion, don't they let things lay out there and they don't respond, and you have to respond to everything. To me, it feels like they expect the American people to automatically recognize that it's bullshit, and that's not what happens. No, it seeps in. So now the American people think that Democrats turned the Kavanaugh hearings into a circus, and they talked, and he was completely innocent because they were just smearing him with these outlandish charges, like he was part of rape rooms. And I even heard that on Morning Joe. He said the same thing. Joe Scarborough was like, oh, yeah, rape rooms, the both sides thing. And no, just because one kook said something that whatever, we never got the FBI investigation. In fact, that's what we know that now, that the FBI did not investigate these charges. It was all a foregone conclusion that they shoved him onto the bench as unfit as he is, and that Dr. Ford said and knew that he had sexually assaulted her, and it was seared into her memory. So and just the insult of Susan Collins and the rest of them saying that I am sure, even Kavanaugh, I'm sure that something happened to her, but like she just doesn't know, because she's a woman. What do you know when the most traumatic experience of your life is unfolding and it's traumatized you for the last 50 years? What do you, what would you know? You're a woman.
Have to go on, and then you have to go on national TV and defend yourself again.
Right.
Being accused of being a liar, and you have to back yourself up.
Right.
I mean, it boggles, and it goes back to what you said before. And I got to run because I got to work tonight.
Okay.
Otherwise,
well, the show's almost over, so.
But it goes back to what you were saying before, where there's no personal responsibility, where there is no Republican ever just attacked or dealt with for the lies they perpetrate. And it's absolutely crazy.
Yep. All right, well, Thomas, thank you for hanging out tonight.
Thank you for having me, and I apologize if my list was driving you as batty as it is me. So it's a new thing.
I know. I'm sure you'll you'll get used to it, and it'll all, that's what happens. That's okay.
Thank you for having me, and you stay safe. And
you too.
Give the kitty cats for me.
I will. I'll give them a nice kiss on their little kitty cat heads.
Oh, all right, my love.
All right, Thomas Reynolds, the Nosey Liberal. FYINation.com, 9 a.m. every morning, every weekday morning. Hang out and remember to subscribe to Thomas's show and hit the notification bell. All right, let me see what's going on in the chat room. We are how's the chat room tonight, everybody? We got some good people. I see there's not as many people as usual. I don't know why. I see a cat though. Yes, thank you, Thomas. And we only have Jim is the only super chatter. That's okay. I'm not trying to guilt you. It's fine. It's fine. We're fine. It's okay. It's just one of those nights. Let me see. We only have a few minutes left on the show. What time is it? Here's Tara Jr. We really only have 6 minutes, but I wanted to talk about. Oh, here let me just play this. We have other things we can talk about, but we will do shows during the week, and especially if we get a patron during the week, that helps. So if you want a show on Monday or Tuesday, become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. Oh, Jesus Christ! This is the corporate media, okay? Corporate media sucks. I just wanted to play this. Nina Totenberg was on MSNBC. It's Junior. See, he's moving the mic. He wants the show over, I guess. And I just want you to, let's just play it and we'll discuss it.
Of at least 5 other members of the court. And
okay, before I didn't preface it. She's talking about Ketanji Brown Jackson's confirmation. Okay, here we go.
Takes his 4 votes to grant. So they're on something of a tear, and she will be the newbie. And being the new person at the Supreme Court, I can tell you, having known lots and lots of justices over time, most of them feel quite overwhelmed in the beginning. It takes a year or two to sort of get your feet solidly on the earth of the court and to feel like you've got it your agenda, your professional agenda under control. So I think if there's an immediate impact, it's likely to be that Justice Breyer is gone. he's replaced by Justice Jackson, and that is 1/9 of the workplace that's changing.
Okay.
And that makes for very different feelings among the justices.
Oh, very different feelings.
We now have 2 members of the court who are African American, one who is Latina, and although Justice Thomas, for example, I would expect to have very different views from Justice Jackson, I would expect the two to become friends and to have much in common outside of their judicial philosophy. And how that will play out, I don't know, if at all.
Nina Totenberg, we're so glad to have you on the show today.
We're so glad to have you. You see,
5 other members of the court.
Do you see how ridiculous? Junior, what the hell, man? I fed you. I love you. Why are you acting like this? Did that make any sense? It doesn't. It makes no sense. Let me play it again. Listen. Just listen. She's commenting on Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson and the Supreme Court.
And being the new person at the Supreme Court, I can tell you, having known lots and lots of justices over time, most of them feel quite overwhelmed in the beginning. It takes a year or two to sort of get your feet solidly
scintillating commentary
of the court and to feel like you've got it your agenda.
Wow, thank you for enlightening me.
Agenda under control. So I think if there's an immediate impact, it's likely to be that Justice Breyer is gone. He's replaced by Justice Jackson, and that is 1/9 of the workplace that's changing.
This is, okay. And the sky is blue and water is wet. And, she drinks water. And, maybe she likes water. Maybe she doesn't. Maybe she likes water with some sweetener. Sometimes I like Crystal Light lemonade. And, for a change, I just don't drink water. But that's like 1/9 of the workplace. I don't know. Some of them have darker pigment. Some of them are women. Some of them are men. That's half and half. And I don't know. Maybe they'll be friends. It does what?
Among the justices. We now have 2 members of the court who are African American. One who is Latina.
Well, gee, I didn't notice that. Thank you for your scintillating observation.
And although Justice Thomas, for example, I would expect to have very different views from Justice
expect
Jackson.
That. Yeah, well, his wife is a traitor.
To become friends. And to have much in common outside of their judicial philosophy. And how that will play out, I don't know, if at all.
If at all.
Nina Totenberg, we're so glad to have you
on
the show today.
We're so glad.
Such a big day for the Supreme Court. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that commentary that enlightened absolutely no one, that said absolutely nothing. But that was like a 10-minute segment, and that was 10 minutes of our life we'll never get back. And this is why the American people are swirling the bowl of democracy, because we, next up we'll have a poll. Who's up in the poll? Maybe she's up in the poll. I think she's up in the poll. Is she up in the poll or down in the poll? Is the poll? Who thinks a poll? Let's take a poll on the poll. This is Tara Devlin. Guys, that I hope that illuminated why we need the independent liberal media. Thank you for supporting the show and for hanging out. If you want to hang out, we're here every Friday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, in that vicinity. We will win because we're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy. We stick together. We win. My name is Tara Devlin. I'll see you soon. Junior, you're getting on my nerves. Damn it. Shit. Get down. Get down. That's it. You're done. You're done. Look at Francis being all nice over there. Look, I don't understand that cat. He's a cranky old man. And he's been to the doctor. There's nothing wrong with him. He's got allergies. He's got skin allergies. Maybe they're bothering him. He's on Zyrtec. Half a pill twice a day. I think it's helping. All right. Anyway, guys, but I don't know, his personality. He's a little cranky. He's getting crankier in his old age. I love him. I love him like I love myself, but he gets on my nerves when he starts biting my hand. Like, my hand, the only reason my hand exists is to pet him. I'm not a machine. I'm just covered in hair, though. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I love my cats. I love my cats. I'll sing a song about them. I love my cats. I love my cats. What do you think about that? If, I made that up just now. If this were a functioning democracy, maybe we would have a show like that. We'd just talk about cats. Yes, could he be spoiled? He is spoiled. He's a spoiled little brat. No, he's not a brat. I'm sorry. He's like a human. He thinks he's human. He is toilet trained. I told you that. My other two cats use the litter box. Tara Jr. uses the toilet like me. He thinks he's me. Maybe that's why he's so cranky. He feeds off of me, my energy, my cranky energy. But he is a sweetie. He's also very, sweet. So when I go to sleep, he sleeps right next to me. He's I feel bad for Ray, though, our little Ray, that he's been here like a year now. And and Tara Jr. is just not nice to him. It's kind of makes me mad. But they they sit together, they eat together. I do the whole thing, feed them together and all, feed them treats together. But, every time he sees Ray, he's like, I hate you. And I'm like, no, Ray is good. Ray is good. And I'm always petting them. See, Ray tries. He really does. I feel bad for him. All right, guys, let us get together again soon, because we do have a lot more to talk about. I want to thank Thomas Reynolds for hanging out. It's always a great conversation. And remember to go to FYINation.com. You can support FYI Nation. I know, we liberals, there's so many things to support. And I don't know, that's just the way it's going to be. Thank you, Jim, for your super chat. Your sole super, not you. I'm not asking you for another super chat, but it is the lone super chat tonight. And that's kind of weird. Usually we get a lot more super chats. I don't know what happened. Maybe nobody likes me anymore. I don't know. I'll have to, my shrink, I was talking to my appointment is on Tuesday morning, so I'll run it by him, see what he thinks. But thank you all for hanging out, and thank you again, Haiku, for everything, of course, and your patronage. And I will soon get your gifts in the mail, your thank yous, your Tarabuster merch. And thank you, Kathleen Loves Nature, and Mark Uncle Smokey, and APS Radio News. Because your patronage and other patrons like you will help us keep going. And if you are a patron and a supporter and you want a mug, come on. Send me an email with your address and your name, of course, at Tarabuster Media at gmail.com, and I'll send you a mug. One of these. There's a good mug. It really is. I'm not just saying it. It's a good size. It's for coffee lovers. 17 ounces. And it's this goes in the washer, the dishwasher, constantly, and it's dishwasher safe. It doesn't fade. Uh-oh, guess who's back? Guess who's back? You see him? Ah! Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? All right, listen to the way he talks to me. What a crank. Will you stop yelling at me? Yes, my love. What happened to the sweet little kitten that I fell in love with? All right, my friends. You're the best. You're the best. I gotta go. I gotta get unconscious. I don't know, maybe there's something on TV. I like to, after the show, I like to not do anything about politics. I usually just go on Netflix and watch Last Kingdom or something. Yeah, that was good. This last season was not bad, I thought. I watched the entire series, of course. The first season of Last Kingdom was great. Then it got a little in my opinion, even though I watched it all. And then this last season was pretty good, I thought. I enjoyed it. If you must know. What else? Oh, I watched that Elizabeth Holmes thing on Hulu. That was good. That makes me mad. It's just like the whole country in the last however many since the millennium, it's scams are the way of the world now. Just be a scammer, a con artist, and don't care about people. Just get as much money as you can. Doesn't matter who you hurt. I hope they put her in jail for 20 years. You too? Yes. All right. And who else is this? Well, like Trump, scam. Better Call Saul is great. I never watched that one. Maybe I'll check that one out. It's always good to have a show to binge. Look at this cat. Oh my God. I didn't do that. Look what he did. See his hand? That's what he does. He always puts his hand on my hand. He puts his hand. You put your paw in my hand. And together we will go everywhere. You put your paw in my hand. I made that up too. You just call out my paw wherever you are. All right, whatever. That's where I'm losing everybody. There'll be no patrons by the time I'm done tonight. All right. Guys, you're the best. Oh, yeah, Succession is good. That is good. Mark, I watched that too. That is political, but it's also very telling. Like, these are the kind of people we want ruling the world, right? And that's what they do. It has to stop. Where's the national razor when you need it? You know what I mean? Maybe it's time to dust it off. Legally and peacefully. Legally and peacefully. Oh, that's so cute. All right, guys. Listen. Thank you for hanging out. I gotta go. My name is Tara Devlin. You know that already. I don't know why I say it, but maybe you don't know. We will win. Yes. Because we're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy. We stick together. We win. Thank you so much for all your support. And hopefully I'll see you, I don't know, Monday or Tuesday. We'll see you very soon, okay? If somebody becomes a patron, I'll do a show in their honor. How's that? I'll see you. Have fun. It's only Friday, yeah. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you soon.